Really ready? Like, are you? This hurts so bad. Baby's not doing well, then we're getting baby out. But 2.5 to 3 hours, you have to feed them, diaper changes, not sleeping at night anymore. I'm still 3 centimeters dilated. Labor is really crazy weird.
You're doing good.
Through this.
Unfortunately, we don't really have a choice.
They're gonna stay on. They're not going 10 centimeters.
Baby is here. What is it, guys?
Already time for another pregnancy update. 38 weeks, 3 days today. I'm actually gonna prop you guys back up here so I can tell you more about the update. Yes. Want more cheese?
More cheese.
Mila and Sebastian are being like so crazy today. Only because usually I have them outside, like in the mornings or like for a couple hours in the morning. But I just don't have the energy right now to deal with them getting full of mud all throughout the house, then undressing them, putting them in the bath, bathing them, all that stuff, because I'm just hurting really bad. I'm honestly not gonna lie, I'm like in a really like not good mood. I'm more not in a good mood right now because I just don't want to go to this OB appointment because it's an hour and 15-minute drive one way there, and last time I drove it was just really painful on like my back. I was getting, obviously, like I'm still contracting every single day, but it was like sciatic back pain, I guess, just like from sitting, and like pain like all in my groin. It's just like too long to like just sit there and drive like this, just because I'm so far along. So I'm just like not in the mood for that. At my last appointment, I found out I was 3 centimeters dilated and 70% effaced at 37 weeks, 5 days. And again, I'm only 38.3 now, so it hasn't even been like a full week. It was just like that's how the scheduling worked out in their system. But the doctor's probably gonna want to check me again today. I'm just curious, like it's whatever, I guess, at this point. But I feel just so much pressure. Like obviously, like sometimes like all yesterday it was like getting actually physically hard to walk between the contractions and then just like the immense like pressure. But I think it is crazy to think like, yeah, I'm 3 centimeters dilated, but that doesn't always mean that you're gonna like go into labor right away. And I know some people think they're like absolutely unnecessary, which in a way they are. Like the only time they kind of do matter is when you're actually in labor and seeing how far along you are and when it's time to push and whatnot. But at least in my case, like how I'm looking at it, number one is just curiosity, and number two, now I know that I think in my head, since I'm already so dilated, I think I'm just going to be having a very fast labor. And I'm, you know, again, I've spoken about how nervous I am with this drive to the hospital, and because technically like when I was really sick last week, I could have sworn I was in labor. Like it was scary, and I've been having some spotting and everything, so the signs are definitely there. If you want to go off the track record with when I had Mila and Sebastian, I have like less than a week, but we'll see. The baby like just moved, like they have like a foot or something right here. Everyone saw Sebastian in when I was vlogging his pregnancy, and now he's just a big boy. And Mila's now on the couch right now. I also decorated for Christmas a little bit earlier, just because that's just one less thing I want to worry about right now. I don't normally decorate this early, but only because we're having the baby soon. I set up this crock pot meal for when I get back, and I'm just gonna cut up these potatoes. It'll just be one less thing I have to worry about when I get home. Again, like I keep talking about this drive, but this literally takes me all day. Like I'm going to be leaving around 12 and I probably won't be back by 6, just because just the driving aspect of it is 2.5 hours round trip, then, you know, over an hour at the doctor's normally, and then I have to do just a little bit of food shopping, just because I live so far away from everything. I'm like really deep inside the country now. So, like, I live in Missouri. I mean, like, the part of Missouri I'm in is, like, very country everything's really far away because we like do farming now. I wonder if I'll have another appointment after this. Well, technically I do next week, but we'll see if I have the baby. I don't know if like anyone else has experiences too, because this is like my third baby, but I am just so anxious about so many things right now. I'm like starting to get really nervous about delivering the baby. And you would think like, oh, your third time around, like you shouldn't be nervous, but I feel like now because I know so much knowledge and like what could happen, what could not happen, whatever, I don't know, I just feel like I have very low confidence in it. I don't know why, but, and I think it doesn't help that when I was sick last week and I was having contractions, which really felt like pure labor contractions, extremely painful, like really painful. I now remembered what it felt like to be in labor, because my kids are both 2 years apart. You kind of forget when you have a gap like that, and now I'm just reminded, and I'm like, I'm just not ready to be in that much pain. And in all reality, there is a chance that I might miss my window to get an epidural because I live so far, and I think I'm just going to progress so quickly. Gino's really nervous too. It's like every night we go to bed and I wake up, I'm like, oh, I woke up pregnant. It's another, you know, another day. Even though technically, like, again, 38 weeks, 3 days is like still like early, but for me, my baby's typically in less than a week. It's just the anticipation like is like, I'm not gonna lie, it's like fun. Like, oh, am I gonna go in labor today? Oh, it's gonna be tomorrow. Oh, how many more days? Like, but I don't know. Besides the fact of giving birth again, healing, how that's all going to go, like the newborn phase is not entirely the easiest time ever. It's such a beautiful time, but also such a hard time. You know, this little being just completely depending off of you. I mean, I breastfeed and pump, so that takes up a lot of time. It's every 2.5 to 3 hours you have to feed them, diaper changes, not sleeping at night anymore, your schedule changing, but it, you know, it is temporary, which obviously you know that I've done it twice. My kids right now are just watching a show and just completely, I think they're easier once they get to like that 2 to 3 year old stage. Mila's 4 and Sebastian's 2. And also Gino is nervous too. Like we both just saying like, oh, we're not ready, we're not ready. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, are you ever really ready? Like, are you? A lot of people want their baby out like right away. And like, I'm fine with going to my due date. Like, I don't care, even if I was overdue. But again, my doctor doesn't want me going past my due date because of the gestational diabetes. And, you know, a whole nother conversation. I'm not really for induction unless it was like super, super necessary. And again, I don't think my gestational diabetes is that severe of a case, considering I've talked about this. My levels, like my fasting levels, are like in the 60s in the morning. I ate pancakes last night. I came back at a 94. Like, things that should really be spiking my blood sugars really don't. And I've noticed that pattern this entire time. Now, like, I have had some spikes. Like, for instance, I had Domino's one time and I was at 132 and I need to be at 120, below 120 in 2 hours. And that still isn't even that bad. So I don't know what to think about it, if I have just like a very sensitive case of it, but I see some people have it like way, way worse. But I have only had a handful of times of my blood sugars being high. And I mean like in the 130s. It's never been any higher than that. Yep, this hurts so bad. I'm gonna guess that the baby is, I think this one will be a little bit bigger just because it's my third baby. Based off of just the way I'm feeling, even though they're 2 weeks behind, I'm gonna guess the weight might be 7 pounds, 2 ounces, but we'll see. I mean, I don't really honestly feel that big, to be honest with you. Mila was 6'4" and Sebastian was 6'8", so I'm gonna finish up these potatoes because I mean, I'm vlogging, but I'm also just, I keep venting and talking, which is why I love to vlog, honestly. But I actually have to drop him off in like 10 minutes down at his parents' house, and then I probably have to leave in like another 10 minutes after that. So I'll just update a little bit later. Okay, we made it. I was like so worried that my back was gonna hurt really bad and I was gonna be contracting really bad, but I only had a few contractions and thankfully I didn't feel that really bad sciatic back pain. I'm actually 20 minutes early right now, so now I'm just kind of like sitting here, but I have to pee, so I'm probably gonna go in like 5 minutes. And yeah, really curious how this appointment's gonna go. I'm gonna guess, honestly, I'm gonna guess that I'm still the same dilation and effacement. I mean, who knows if it changed. I'd be kind of nervous if it changed. Imagine he's like, oh, you're 4 centimeters. No, but I have a feeling he's gonna want to start talking about, all right, like, let's see our options about getting the baby out. Again, because he doesn't want me going past my due date. I'm okay with being pregnant till the baby, you know, decides to come, unless it was like I got like, you know, a test showing that the baby's like really unwell. Like, I just really want to make that clear. Like, if baby's not doing well, then we're getting baby out. But if they're healthy and happy right now, I just don't feel like it's necessary. I'm gonna go in now. It's so hard to film in here because this is actually like connected to the hospital and there's a lot of people in here, and I just like to respect people's privacy, so I try to do like a little bit on my phone, like in the bathroom, but like that's pretty much it, because they're like really weird with like even if like I were to go like film on my phone like during ultrasounds, they're like, put your phone away. Like, okay, but I'll update a little bit later. So I'm out now. Best news, I'm still 3 centimeters dilated. I haven't like changed at all, so, which again is like pretty crazy. If you know, notice yourself you're super dilated earlier or whatever, and you kind of get discouraged that your body's not going to labor, just know it is a normal thing. And the same thing with not being dilated at all. Like, labor is really crazy weird, and it is all based on hormones, number one. Like, people that try to do stuff to like induce their body, I really don't believe. Personally, I don't believe in any of that. I don't try to like eat dates, drink teas. I really don't try to do any of that, because just, it is all hormonal related. Like, your body and the baby release hormone to make you go into labor. But anyway, besides that fact, one thing that was really strange, I lost 5 pounds. Don't know where that came from. I was like, is that accurate? Are you sure? And it was, so, but I feel like that's a sign of labor for me too. Like, I guess I'm starting to drop like all the fluids. Like, I noticed a little bit my face is less swollen. Today is November 8th and I'm due November 19th, and obviously because of the gestational diabetes, even though I feel it's very well controlled and I'm, you know, don't have like a severe case, they still don't want me to go past my due date. My due date's, I was trying to get it for the 19th, and the closest labor and delivery could get it is the 18th. I don't even think I'm gonna make it to then. I just don't. I mean, you never know. Since I'm so dilated already, I think the first thing like we would go and try is I would go in and break my water, because technically I had the same thing done with Sebastian, except I was in prodromal labor. That's the only difference. Like, I was kind of like, it was like a stalled labor, but as soon as the doctor broke my water with him, I like had him very quickly. So I think that would just be the plan, even though I just wish it would happen all on its own. Unfortunately, that's just, I guess, not in my control, but I'm trying to give it as much time as I can. If I don't have a baby on my own, then their birthday will be definitely November 18th. Again, I don't think it's gonna be November 18th. I think my body is gonna go on its own, but we're just gonna have to see. It's so crazy. But that's pretty much it for the updates for that. See if I even come back next week. I come back on the 15th, so exactly a week from today. I update a lot more on my Instagram too, just because it's a little bit easier. I have an hour and 15-minute drive home, but I actually have to go and pick up some groceries too while I'm out. This long day is finally over. Days like this always get me so tired. It's 6:43 at night, and I think like when I started this vlog it was like 11 and I left around like 12. So you can see it takes pretty much all day to travel out there and then do some grocery shopping and then everything, and then came home. Thankfully I had the crock pot meal. Everyone was really hungry. We just like cleaned up and everything. And then I came in the bedroom because I have to change out of this dress. Just want to get more comfortable, and then we're probably just gonna watch some TV and then go to bed, and hopefully I don't go into labor tonight. I mean, You never know. I keep thinking about like the induction date. Obviously, it just feels weird to me. It is what it is, and I'm also just gonna clarify, like, gestational diabetes is very, very serious. So, and I'm not trying to like say that it's not, because like I don't want to get induced. It just like is a preference type thing, like that I just want my body to do it on its own, and I very much still could. But like if your diabetes is left kind of like undiagnosed and whatever whatnot, and some people have it so serious like your baby can come out really messed up and like could even like end up in the NICU. I actually just was following this girl for a while, and I like just saw like something happen like that, kind of like a complication all revolved around gestational diabetes. But my doctor was working with me, and obviously I'm being honest, like my numbers are very, very controlled and they're on the lower end. So I think I just have a more sensitive case of it, and he knows that like just how I feel about it. I mean, it was nice enough that like technically the induction date is 39 plus 6, so I'm very full term and everything. It's just like preference and just like nerves. But I'm 9 days away, not counting today, is 9 days away from the induction date. Within these 9 days, something's going to happen. It's just so crazy to think about that. So crazy I'm gonna have like a little baby. Even crazier, I'm gonna finally meet who this is. If it is that day, everything just is smooth sailing and there's no complications, because I'm scared that the induction will lead to the baby being stressed out if they're not ready to come out. I'll probably speak more upon it in my next video, because I'm just repeating myself at this point. But that's pretty much all I have for this video. 38 weeks, 3 days. That's where we're at. I forget, I don't know if I like mentioned, the baby, my fundal height hasn't changed. I'm still measuring 36 weeks, which is still like the 2 weeks behind, which is, it's been like that. So I'm gonna end the vlog here. So I'll see everyone in the next video.